Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are excited to be here today. I'm on the road, and I got to be honest with you, I'm busy running around doing all sorts of things, trying to save our country, save our world. But today's show is too important to not do. You know, Susie Wiles is in the news, and we've been talking about Susie since the campaign. Back in April of 24, I actually put out some information on her, talked about the fact that she was working with Mercury LLC. She was actually a managing partner there. Now, this has been a really interesting thing, guys, because everybody's saying, listen, she's okay, she's this, she's that. Here's the problem. She's not. She's not. Mercury LLC is owned by Omnicom. Omnicom is a World Economic Forum partner. They're a full partner, and they run that show. She was a managing partner at Mercury. People say, well, she only represented some cigar companies. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the least. The reason it doesn't matter is you've got to understand something. As a managing partner, everybody that this company is representing, you're a reflection of that. And that company represented Gilead. They represented Alibaba. CCP controlled Alibaba. They represented foreign countries. They represented all these bad guys. Pfizer. They represented Pfizer. Shocker, right? Pfizer Pam gets the appointment as AG under Susie's guidance. They represented Gavi. That's Bill Gates' Vaccine Alliance, right? They represent everybody. These guys are bad news. And Wiles is at the front and center of this, right? Meanwhile, the campaign's going on, and I'm hearing all these different things. I hear a lot of things. I work with a lot of people, and I don't just believe it because I hear it, right? I have to have some evidence. But credible people presenting credible evidence to me are showing me things. Wiles is out there, and there's a lot of pay for play, right? There's a lot of allegations, not proof, that Wiles and LaCivita would take money to push endorsements of different people. Now, is that proof? No, but it's been alleged more than once. And a lot of the people that Trump was endorsing, some of the people that are, in small positions and nobody knows, were people that are just terrible. Across this country, I saw Trump endorsing all these people who were anti-Trumpers. Well, why does that happen? Well, Trump doesn't decide his own endorsements. Not in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't even, the reality is Donald Trump, most of the people that Trump is endorsing, he doesn't even know who they are. Right? He doesn't even know who they are. He's just endorsing them because someone tells him to. So who's telling him to? Well, that's the Wiles team. The Wiles team is there to undermine the president's self-interest. That's what they do. Control and self-interest. So anyway, seeing this come out with Vanity Fair, I see all these people come out and talk about all this stuff, and it's more than a little suspicious to me, right? It's way more than a little suspicious. Because what do you see with this? Well, the stuff that's going on with this isn't the response when the Vanity Fair piece comes out. The response from the administration wasn't natural. You don't get everybody in the administration coming out in verbatim saying, hey, Susie's wonderful, she's great, she's loyal, she's spectacular. That doesn't happen by accident. That only happens with intent, right? This was coordinated, and it's legendary. Like, if you talk to anybody in and around this administration, they'll tell you, oh, Wiles controls it, Wiles in charge, Wiles this, Wiles that. Pledges of loyalty, all these things. If you're in this administration, you are working for Susie Wiles. That is the nature of it. That's just the reality of it. And if you don't work for her, if you don't do right by her, you're going to find yourself out of a job. So, there's a lot of evidence. We're going to get into all this today. So I got a lot to say. Before I do, I need your support. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. Please become a donor, weekly, monthly, one-time donor. I don't care. We just need your support. Whatever you can give us is great. But please help us at GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. Also, go to TomRenz.com, www.TomRenz.com, and go to our sponsors and affiliates, and you'll see right at the top, Global Healing. Global Healing is one of the best companies, the best supplements on the market, and one of my favorite is the Men's Hormone Support Supplement. Men's Hormone Support is critical. The war on testosterone is real. Alex Jones talks about the atrazine that makes the frogs gay and change sex and all that sort of stuff. The reality is that there are so many different toxins in our environment that are destroying men's hormones, destroying men's health, destroying testosterone. It's appalling. These things are horrific. And you need to do something about it. Men's hormone support from Global Healing is a wonderful product. It's all natural. You get this stuff, you take this stuff, it will keep you healthy. It'll keep your hormone levels better. You'll have less brain fog, less tiredness. You'll feel better. Your boy parts work better. I don't know how to say that. It's just a great product. So make sure you're getting this. Ladies, get it for your men. Men, get on this. You need to be on this really well. I use about 4 droppers a day. I start out at about 6. I use about 4. Recommended doses 2. A little bit extra really makes a big difference on this stuff. It really, you feel a lot on it. It's a natural product, right? So I haven't had any problems with it. It's wonderful, wonderful. So anyways, Men's Hormone Support Global Healing. All right, so let's get into Susie Wiles, right? Let's start at the beginning here, because I want to really kind of hit some of these things that we need to do. So back during the election, I was asked to look into Wiles a bit, and I did. And if you look at my Twitter feed, there's a ton of stuff there. But one of the things I pointed out, and I provided screenshots of Susie Wiles being a managing partner for Mercury LLC. And this is really important because this company is bad news. And like I said, they're directly owned by Omnicom, which is 100% a World Economic Forum partner. So Omnicom Group is literally listed on the World Economic Forum website as a partner. You got to understand that. And you see things about Omnicom, about their DEI programs. They got huge DEI programs. I'm a big fan of that. I got in there the stuff about Susie getting hired there. I got stuff talk about their support for Mercury's support for Gavi, Pfizer, Jillian, all these different things. Now, this is the person, Susie Wiles is 100% a Bush loyalist. She's an old school Bush Republican. And, her thing was to try and bring Trump and some of these Republicans together. The problem is you can't do that. MAGA is not compatible with Bush Republicans, right? Bush Republicans and MAGA, it's kind of like saying that you're a Democrat or a Republican. They're just not the same thing. The Bush Republicans are, they're rhinos. They're what we call rhinos. And you've got to understand, so Susie's been pushing from the rhino position from the beginning. And what she's done is she's essentially made it so that this administration is getting nothing done. Now, no one's allowed to speak out about Susie. You've got to understand, she runs this administration with an iron fist. And you can see, because look what happened yesterday. Let me make this case. Donald Trump calls Susie Wiles the most powerful woman on the planet. Donald Trump himself said that, right? His quote, not mine. Susie Wiles, gets a hit piece on her, and suddenly every single person in the administration tweets, "Hey, no, Wiles is great. We love her. She's the best," right? Bobby Kennedy even did it. And now Bobby Kennedy's is particularly interesting to me because Bobby, to me, Bobby, I love you. You're an idiot on this. You need to quit kissing Susie's ass and you need to start talking about this, because here's the deal. Bobby Kennedy comes into this administration, and we all know where he stood on mRNA vaccines. We didn't need more science. We didn't need more evidence. As an attorney, and Bobby's a great attorney, you can see exactly what's going on here. The mRNA vaccines are what they are. They're unhealthy. They're unsafe. They're very dangerous, and they're a disaster, right? So Bobby's coming out here trying to defend her. But why is it that Bobby comes into the administration and suddenly he can't pull these vaccines? Why is it that Bobby's having so much difficulty with so many crooks? Why do you think that is? Remember, Susie Wiles represented Pfizer, Gavi, all these different people, or her company did, right? So you can say, no, she didn't do it herself. Her company did. She's a managing partner at Mercury LLC. They represented every one of these frauds. Don't tell me she's not okay with it. By the way, Ballard Partners, right? Ballard Partners, where she found Pam Bondi under a rock. Well, Pam Bondi was also representing as an attorney Pfizer, right? So she's going to bring these crooks in. She's going to bring all these people in who are just, they're sellouts. And what's the first thing they do? By the way, did you know that there were a bunch of government investigations related to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act that Pfizer was being investigated on? And as soon as Pam Bondi came in, they disappeared. Did you know that? As soon as Susie Wiles hires Pam Bondi, those investigations are. I bet you didn't know that, right? The corruption is monumental and it's mind blowing and it's absolutely inappropriate. So that's all happening. Meanwhile, you've got to understand, we've got the DOJ is accomplishing nothing. Well, Bondi's been openly against, she doesn't want to ruffle feathers, right? She's trying to bring MAGA and the rhinos together. That's her purpose because she's a Bush era rhino, really. So she's trying to temper and manage MAGA because she doesn't want MAGA to do what MAGA was elected to do, which is to create results, justice, bring some change. MAGA exists because we're tired of the Bush rhinos. But Susie is in there fighting for Bush Rhino position. I don't want Bush Rhino position. I'm MAGA. I'm not Rhino. And if I got to pick between MAGA and Republican, I can assure you it ain't Republican. Remember, the 80 million people that voted for Trump didn't vote for Republicans. They voted for Donald Trump. They voted for MAGA. People didn't come out for the GOP. Everybody's sick of the GOP. Look at Congress's approval numbers. They came out because they thought Donald Trump was going to fight for MAGA. He ain't doing it. Why is that? Wiles is a Bush Republican. That's why. So you can doubt me. You say, well, Renz, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at what all these guys said. Look at what all they said. Everybody loves Susie Wiles. No. They were afraid of Susie Wiles, who Trump said is the most powerful woman on the planet. That's what's going on. It's not because they love Susie Wiles. It's because they were afraid of her. Everybody was required. Do you think that, hey, listen, do you think that every single cabinet secretary loves the chief of staff? Show me one time in history where every cabinet member came out with a statement in favor of the chief of staff the same day after a hit piece. That doesn't happen. That went out as an order. You're all going to say something nice about Susie on Twitter. That's bullshit. That's corruption. I would think better of Donald Trump than this. I would think better of this administration, but Trump isn't running it. This is Susie's panicked response to the fact that the truth is coming out, that she's a rhino. She's a crook. So, and for any of you MAGA Republicans out there that don't know this, it's time for you guys to get up to speed on this because what's happening right now is not good for MAGA. It's not good. What Susie's doing right now is a disaster. This is an absolute debacle, and it's because we have this corrupt garbage at the head of the chief of staff, right? All right, so let's talk about the Vanity Fair article. Let's talk about where she said that Donald Trump has an alcoholic's personality. Donald Trump doesn't even drink. He famously stays away from alcohol and stays away from everything. The guy's as clean as can be. She's got an alcoholic's personality. That's pretty flattering, right? That's smart move. Now, it's a Vanity Fair. It's a hit piece. No, they recorded her. She said it. It's not a hit piece. It's what she thinks. And the fact that they said it doesn't make it a hit piece. It just means that they found someone in the administration that doesn't like the president. That's what's really going on. Wiles doesn't like the president. She doesn't like this administration. She doesn't like MAGA. She is a Bush-era rhino that doesn't like these people. This isn't hit piece. It's just truth. I hate to say it, but Vanity Fair is more fair about this than the conservative influencers, which, by the way, I am right now telling you, I'm sick of the conservative influencers who are kissing her ass because they're afraid of getting cut off. And that's what's happening, by the way. You know, the MAGA pays influencers just like everybody else. Democrats pay influencers, foreign governments pay influencers, everybody pays influencers. And MAGA does the same thing. If you want access to Trump, you kiss Susie Wiles' ass, right? That's the way it is. So all these MAGA influencers that are kissing her ass, everybody knows the truth about her, but they're lying because they don't want to lose access. They don't want to lose their gravy train. You got to have some balls to tell the truth, right? I don't get any money out of this, right? Nobody pays me. The amount of money this show makes I lose money on this show. I do this to get the truth out, right? The reality is that, and I lose a lot of money on this show, actually. I get to do this to get the truth out. These suck-ass influencers that are out there lying for Susie Wiles are doing it because they don't want to lose access. So, if you are truly tied in with the White House, if you actually know what's going on, because I'm not real close at this point because Wiles doesn't want anything to do with me, which is fine. I'm going to continue telling the truth, though. Any of these guys that are close, they know what's going on. I mean, I've got great insiders in the White House. I got great people who leak me all the information. I got real close ties on that stuff. So my info is dead accurate. But you got to understand something. What's occurring from a lot of these conservative influencers is essentially ass kissing so that they continue to get access. That's what's going on here. And that's corrupt. That's no better than what the Democrat leftist media does. If you can't tell the truth, you're not a right-wing influencer. You're just like the Democrat leftist media, and you just got to listen. I'm willing to give some of them the benefit of the doubt because there's a lot of them that wouldn't have done the homework to see this stuff. But at the end of the day, there's a fair number of conservative influencers who know better that are just lying because they're too afraid to tell the truth. And that's a load of crap. That means you're not MAGA. Because if you're MAGA, you know that this rhino is destroying things. Anyways, so she says Trump's got an alcoholic's personality. You're going to defend her on that? You're going to say, oh, she's a Trump loyalist. It sounds like it, doesn't it? How about this one? She says, quote, that she says Trump operates with, quote, a view there's nothing he can't do. Nothing, zero, nothing. Suggesting basically that he's got a God complex. I mean, so she thinks he's arrogant. Okay, so there's that, right? So she thinks he's got an alcoholic's personality, and she thinks he's arrogant. She told a story about Trump in 2016. She says he's, quote, ranting and raving over poll numbers, in the middle of the night. Well, he's running for president. Of course he's going to rant and rave. He should care. But Susie Wiles is ripping him for this, right? Ranting and raving are the words she used. It's insane. She says that Trump's decision-making is basically thinking out loud, and there's a lot of huge disagreements internally. She didn't like the tariffs. She hates tariffs. I mean, because she's a rhino, right? She's a globalist, America last rhino. So she didn't like Trump's tariffs. She said that with Trump's decision making, she says so many decisions of great consequence are being made on the whim of the president. So is there anything about him that she likes? But yet MAGA is going to be out there trying to defend her. She doesn't like the president. She's undermining him. What don't you understand? I've been saying this for a while. Trump doesn't have time to see everything, right? So Trump only sees what she shows him. And she's not going to show him her ripping on and undermining him. Why does he have a chief of staff that's undermining him? I mean, she literally said that he's not capable of making decisions. He just does things on a whim. It's an embarrassment. She uses an example because she's really pissed. She does not like the tariffs. So Susie Wiles hates tariffs. Right? Donald Trump loves them. He's used them to create peace deals. He's used them to improve our trade position. It's making tons of money for America. Susie Wiles hates them because they don't allow her foreign companies like Alibaba to make America last, right? They really hurt the foreign countries that she actually represents. So Susie Wiles doesn't like the tariffs. And she says, we told Donald Trump, hey, let's not talk about tariffs today, but Trump barreled ahead. Right? Why should he listen to you? He's the president. And you're an America last rhino. Why should Trump listen to an America last rhino? Explain to me that. Now, yet we've got conservative influencers trying to tell me Susie's great because the cabinet's saying it. Because Susie put it out. If you want access to Trump, you'll kiss my ring. Well, Susie can kiss my ass. We're going to tell the truth here. Let's talk about it. What do you mean that you hate the tariff? Why do you hate the tariff, Susie? What do you hate about that? I mean, it's making money for us. He's used it to create peace deals. What are you against? By the way, it's a core piece of his administration. It's a core piece of his strategy. If you don't agree with Trump on tariffs, how can you be his chief of staff? Tell me she's loyal while she's ripping one of his core foundational policy positions. I mean, tariffs are one of his foundational policy initiatives, yet you're going to tell me she's loyal to Trump while she's ripping them? That's a load of crap. That's a load of crap. Again, she didn't like the way he talks about some of the foreign economies. She's told him she doesn't like him going, she doesn't like justice, right? She doesn't want Trump going after justice. She's over and over again. Yes, I do tell Trump this is not supposed to be a retribution tour. I don't think he wakes up thinking about retribution, but when there's an opportunity, he'll go for it. She does not want these people to be held accountable. She doesn't want her friends, the Bush tie-ins. By the way, the Clintons and Bushes are very close friends, and that Wiles spoke out very extensively about how the Epstein list, the no Epstein list, and no, there's no evidence that the Clintons were ever there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no evidence that Bill Clinton was involved with Epstein. Really? I mean, that alone is just obscene. It's obscene that she would say that. That tells you exactly how corrupt she is, right? She described J.D. Vance she ripped J.D. Vance. She just ripped him. I mean, he comes over here. It's a political calculation. He's a conspiracy theorist. I mean, she just absolutely ripped him. She called Russell Vought, the OMB director, who everybody's liking right now, a right-wing absolute zealot, so she doesn't like him. Said Elon Musk is a complete solo actor, odd duck, avowed ketamine user, just thinks he's reckless. Doesn't like the fact that Elon Musk was actually pushing Doge. Why she's going to rip Musk? I mean, what Musk did for the White House is monumental, right? I mean, really, Musk was a huge win, and it's very clear that she ran him out. It's mind blowing. So this list goes on and on. She was against shutting down USAID because she loved that. She even ripped her hire, Pam Bondi. I mean, she picked Pam Bondi because Pfizer Pam and her company Pfizer, they love each other, right? So Pfizer Pam and World Economic Forum Wiles, they make a good pair. But she even ripped Pam Bondi for the Epstein stuff because. Here's the real catch. She's trying to act like there's no Epstein list. You're right. For 30 years, everybody on the planet knows that Epstein's running a child rape ring for billionaires, but there's no list. And by the way, the Clintons aren't on it because Susie Wiles and her bosses, the Bushes, love the Clintons. Yeah, no Epstein list at all. No way. Listen, all this just ties back. And it's not the first time, right? In 2024, she did another article with the Political where she ripped a bunch of Trump's policies. So right after, interestingly enough, right after I brought the truth out about some of the stuff that Susie Wiles was doing during the campaign, she gets her buddies at the Political to do this huge fluff piece on her. Now, you should know that if the Political is doing a fluff piece on you, you're a bad guy. So she gets the Political to do a fluff piece on her, and in it, she's talking about being against Trump on so many different policies. This Vanity Fair piece is not a hit piece. This Vanity Fair piece is a fair representation of a Bush rhino that doesn't like Trump. That's all it is. Right? There's nothing more to this. Wiles is undermining Donald Trump until Donald Trump fires Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles and all of Wiles' little crooks. They're gonna continue doing this. I mean, to me, they're undermining him. To me, what they're doing is absolutely unethical. And this whole group of crooks needs to be fired, in my opinion. None of them are loyal to MAGA. Wiles literally talked about being, she doesn't like MAGA. She doesn't like the tariffs. How can you be for Donald Trump and be against tariffs? Can you please tell me that? How can you be for Donald Trump and for MAGA and not be for holding these crooks who stole the elections, who did all these things? You don't want to hold them accountable. When she says she's against retribution, what she really means is she's the reason that Bondi isn't prosecuting any of these people or is just doing a shit job on the prosecution. She's against retribution. Listen, it's not retribution, it's justice. That's what she's really against. She doesn't want to see her buddies, the Clintons, put in jail. She doesn't want to see her buddies, the Democrats, put in jail. She's a Bush-era rhino Republican who would rather be friends with Adam Schiff than put him in jail because she doesn't have the balls to do it because she gets money from the same people. I'm tired of crooks, folks. You cannot be okay with Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and still call yourself MAGA. They are not MAGA. They are undermining MAGA. And I'm just going to be real honest with you. If that's where you are against MAGA. And that's just, I don't know what else to say about it. Look at my Twitter feed. Look at the stuff I'm posting. There's a whole bunch more coming. And I challenge you, argue with me. Bring it. Bring it in the comments. Bring it anywhere you want. You ain't going to win the arguments, right? Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, Susie Wiles and her anti-retribution, well, I don't see any prosecutions, do you? Looks like she's winning the day. Trump wants not retribution, but justice. But she frames it as retribution. She wants to make it as hard for Donald Trump to get justice as possible. Oh, Mr. President, that's retribution. We don't want that. No, it's not retribution. These guys stole elections. They stole elections. They undermined our country. They're absolute. I mean, these are the worst of the worst of the worst. These people belong in jail forever. Some of these people are seditious or borderline treasonous. J6. She was against pardoning the J6ers. Every single thing that's MAGA, Susie Wiles is against. She admits it, and nobody's talking about it. All right. So I've got a whole bunch more. As you can tell, I'm a little fired up about this. I'm very frustrated to see the rhino selling out, and we need to do something about it. By the way, please support me. GiveSendGo.com/ShrensLaw, because I can assure you Susie Wiles is not going to allow me to get any checks. Unlike the MAGA influencers who are out there telling everybody how loyal she is and how wonderful she is, I don't get checks from the administration for lying about crooks like Susie Wiles. So we need Wiles fired. We need Bondi fired. We need to get rid of these crooks, and that's the end of that. So please GiveSendGo.com/ShrensLaw and TomRenz.com. Support our sponsors, especially Global Healing and Men's Hormone Support. All right. I have a lot more and expect a lot more in coming days. But I got a treat for y'all. I'm traveling, and I am in an undisclosed super secret location, Scottsdale, Arizona. And I've got my buddy, the one and only Captain K, Seth Keshel here. And Seth, if you want to join. So we got this. This is a highly professional thing. Seth and I are going to hold hands because we're super close right now. I'm not actually going to hold his hand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Susie Wiles. I'm not part of your LGBT community that you're a big fan of. So,
and I'll never be able to communicate with the administration again. Thanks, Tom.
Well, sorry, Seth. I know that you don't necessarily share my opinion. Maybe you're not.
I have plenty of opinions about current affairs. Sometimes I keep them to myself, and other times I let them fly.
Yeah, I don't keep them to myself very well. That's just kind of one of my wonderful little personality quirks. Anyways, so I want to tell you all about my buddy Seth here. So obviously you know Seth. I mean, he's deciphered more election fraud than any 5 people on the planet. He actually should, in my opinion, be one of the key advisors in this administration. But Susie Wiles doesn't want people who actually get anything done or who could prove election fraud or anything else because if she has them in the administration, they might show Trump how to get justice, not retribution. She calls it retribution, but not justice because, well, she doesn't want that. God forbid that she would allow any retribution. So, anyways, guys like Seth are kept out of this, even though he should be like the advisor. So anyways, but I got Seth here, but Seth is beyond that stuff. He is also working on a bunch of stuff related to veterans and helping veterans because Seth is, in fact, a veteran. And doing wonderful, wonderful work on that front. So, Seth, you and your beautiful, wonderful wife, Rachel, who is one of the best and most honest Republican reps in the Arizona House. By the way, you should. I think is she up again?
She is. She's running for re-election in 26.
Okay, so listen, if you've got money, you need to support veterans and you need to support Rachel. So, like, someone write her a $50 million check for her election because we really need her to be supported. So please support Rachel and her election. Seth, I know we didn't plan on this, but what's the best way for people to do that?
That would be at donaterachel.com. That's how you can donate to Rachel Keschel, who is a member of the Arizona House Freedom Caucus. She's a solid constitutional vote. She doesn't take dirty lobbyist money, and I'm very proud of her.
Well, you should be. You married up, man.
Yeah, I'd say that I outkicked my coverage pretty well.
Yeah, you did a good job on that one. Hey, by the way, just looking at the live chat on Rumble. Thank you guys. And yeah, I know a lot of stuff about Todd Blanche too. And yeah, I mean, he's terrible from what I hear. But I love the comments here. Yeah, I love the comments because what you're seeing here is just, you guys are right. I mean, they're garbage. These people are garbage. So thank you on that. And so, yeah, Seth, you definitely married up and, everything is great there, and I want everybody to vote for Rachel. You should actually, if you're in Arizona, if you register, pro tip, if you register as a Democrat in Arizona, you can vote for Rachel 25 times and no one will care. So, I mean, especially if you're in Maricopa, that's not actually formal advice. You might want to consult a lawyer before you do that, but just a thought. So, Seth, you and I are talking a little bit because one of the things I'm doing down here is I'm talking about, Seth, we're looking at veterans programs. Tell me about what you're seeing with the vet community.
The vet community is pretty well understood by people these days, and I'd say that's an improvement. One of the few things that's going well in our country compared to past years. In my dad's day, when they got back from Vietnam, it was baby killers being spit on, being harassed at the airports, and now one of those things to compensate for that, society is much kinder to veterans. So everybody wants to give back to veterans, but it's not always easy to figure out what organizations to support or how to do that. We know that veterans have all kinds of traumas and issues related to the post 9/11 conflicts or older veterans with theirs. PTSD is prevalent. Most veterans have some form of PTSD. We have the number, some say that 22 veterans a day commit suicide. So it's clear by anybody's imagination and by any measurement that veterans, there's a mental health crisis that has struck the veteran community that continues to plague it. There's plenty of options for veterans to seek care. Sometimes it's through the VA. Not really so many for families to reconnect. And my experience is that so many veterans I've known have gone through this. The military has a 70% divorce rate. Really, the veterans community is struggling to keep a sense of identity with family together. So that's one of the biggest issues with veterans today.
Well, and we're working on, full disclosure, we're working on getting, a nonprofit to try and help with that. But it's something that we need to address. I mean, today, immediately, it's something that we need to do. I mean, we need to look at, if you know a veteran, if you know someone who served our country, we need to watch them, right? Especially if they were in combat situations or high stress situations. We've got to look out for these guys. The idea that we got 20 plus veterans a day ish. I mean, it depends on the statistic, right? But even if it was two, if it was one, that's way too killing themselves, right? That's way too many. And these guys served our country. They get done. This guy right here, he signed on the dotted line and he was willing to take a bullet for your freedom. That right there is worth some respect, right? We got to do a little bit better job of this. So what are you seeing out there, Seth? What are you seeing right now? I mean, I know that we're working on getting some stuff to try and help bring families together. Do you think it's a breakdown of the family support? What do you think's causing this?
So veterans have issues whether they're single or married or divorced or any other type. I don't necessarily know that combat is what causes this. Now, combat can cause PTSD for sure.
Yeah.
I would say time apart is one of these things that causes these bonds to loosen, and coming disconnected with one another. The Army in particular had extremely long deployments in these post 9/11 wars, 12 years, or 12 years, 12 months.
Oh, wow.
When I was in college, the Pentagon extended tours in Iraq to 15 months at one point, and for several years, 15 months was the standard. So I mean, somebody could leave home, and the wife would become pregnant. 9 months later, give birth, and 6 months after that, a deployment would end, which is just an incredible amount of time. I mean, you could leave in 2025 at this point, and not come back till 2027. So all that time apart naturally unravels close bonds. And then, of course, with the constant moving, kids being uprooted from schools, it's very difficult for families to reconnect. So even people who haven't suffered debilitating conditions that could lead to PTSD or other damage, you have that strain, and then it's compounded by people who suffered debilitating injuries in combat, or they suffer from PTSD that relegates them to a life of isolation. So it's a multifaceted issue that a lot of people are unfortunately familiar with, and they themselves have been fortunate to avoid it. They absolutely know people who've had their lives altered by these kind of conditions. So the time apart causes the bonds to loosen, and then of course there's the exacerbation caused by the damage of combat.
We've got to fight for the vets, and I'm really looking forward to this project that Seth, kind of developing. Seth and Rachel. I mean, their work for the veterans is wonderful, and honestly, it's worth supporting and worth fighting on. Seth, I can't have the one and only Captain K on and not ask you this. Midterms, are we totally screwed?
It depends what you mean by screwed. We won, the Republican Party won the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2024. Some people are happy. Some people are not happy. Some people have expectations that haven't been met.
I'd be one of those.
Right. So, and this is one of the great things. And by the way, so Tom and I, we've been friends for a long time. I mean, a long time in politics is 4 years. But you need to get to the point where you can exchange ideas and disagree on things in a constructive way. And I don't mean a sit around and sing Kumbaya with people that hate you kind of way.
No.
I'm a more political guy than he is. Sometimes we bounce ideas off of each other. I understand some of Tom's frustrations while not sharing every one of them because I look at them through a political lens. But the midterms, people need to go in there with the right set of expectations. In 23 midterms since 1934, the president's party has lost seats in 20 of those. So 20 out of 23 times the president's party loses House seats. The average loss is 27. So the Republicans won't lose 27 seats. And a lot of that is because of the gerrymandering in red and blue states. So, either party, the party that wins the House is not going to have a dominant majority. I don't think anybody has a ceiling for more than about 225 House seats either way. Trump's polls are starting to improve a bit. And with it, the hopes for the Republican Party, at least in polling, is polling. I think that it's most likely right now that the Dems would recapture the House. I don't think they'll take the Senate. Why does this matter? Well, because if the Dems do retake the House, there will be substantial things that they do while they're in charge of the House. There's going to be investigations and committees formed. They're going to try to go after the president. But long term, I need you to keep your heads about you. Long term, this is only going to galvanize the right for the future, where they go after the president. If he's lagging in any polling, that'll bring sympathy back towards him. So, look, and if the Republican Party wins the House, then one thing that people need to say and understand is that the GOP has a majority. They already have it. They've had it under Trump for this whole year he's been in, and they're going to have it for another year, but they don't really have a lot of plans to do much with the majority.
They passed 5 bills. A whopping 5.
Right. So I don't know why people are sitting around spending so much time fretting about a hypothetical midterm result when they have a majority right now. So the Indiana Republican Party really proved to a lot of people that the most important thing that can happen politically is to start purging incumbents. And by purging, I mean peacefully, for anybody that watches this interview in the future. But there's really no reason. We need to rearrange our minds a bit. Instead of we have an incumbent, now we need to keep this incumbent. I think the starting point needs to be we're going to primary everybody, and then we'll make exceptions for good incumbents. So that's something that needs to change. Nobody knew for 10 years of the Trump era that the Indiana Senate needed to go home and be fully replaced. There were more Indiana Republican senators voted against the new map than for it. And you have Democrats in California that are about to take 5 seats with the most crooked maps you could ever imagine. And then you have Virginia. Harris didn't even win Virginia by 6 points. And Virginia is getting ready to field a 10-1 Democrat map. So I don't fundamentally think that redistricting in the middle of the decade just so you can win is a good thing for America. But if they're doing it, then we sure as hell better.
Yeah, we kind of got to do everything we can. And now, by the way, Seth said this very politely, but basically what he meant was he and I don't agree on everything, but I still consider him a brother. He's a good man. He would never sell out on anything, but we don't agree on everything. One of the things that we may not agree on is at the end of the day, to me, this is what's occurring right now and the issues that we're having stem directly. We've got a Republican majority, but the Republican majority won't do anything. You've got a rhino chief of staff that is empowering this majority to feel secure. I mean, she's got Trump endorsing Lindsey Graham, of all people. How do you get Trump to endorse Lindsey Graham? I mean, Lindsey Graham is literally the biggest rhino in the Senate. It doesn't get worse than Lindsey Graham. Yet Trump is endorsing this clown. How does that happen, right? I got to tell you guys, this is something that is 100% appalling to me, and we have to recognize what it means. This is what occurs when you've got a rhino chief of staff that doesn't believe in the mainstream. The Senate, the GOP, these guys feel like they can get away with things because at the end of the day, they know that the chief of staff is going to convince the president to endorse their garbage. So, I mean, that's why we got 5 bills passed. That's why we don't see judges being impeached. That's why we don't see anything happening. Susie's against retribution. That's what she says. Well, that means that she's against justice. Again, I can't say Seth shares all my views on this, and that's okay. He doesn't have to. I still think what I think. But we do have to ask ourselves, why is it that we can't get any discipline from the GOP at all? We can't get anything done. Seth, I mean, you're a data guy and you're a historical guy. Have you seen? I mean, this seems like probably the worst GOP majority I can't even remember a GOP majority that's been less effective.
Well, it is extremely ineffective. One of the only excuses there is for the U.S. House is a very small majority, 220 to 215. When Trump was elected in 2016, he went in with more than 240 Republican seats. And, of course, they still had their own issues. I would say the biggest reason for Republican dysfunction is competing domestic and special interests. There's too many people that want a piece of the pie. There's too many people that buy influence for their politicians. You can look at Ted Cruz for a really good example of that. We have also the inability for Republicans to realize the existential threats to our country. We get distracted by a lot of the hot button social issues, and I have opinions about those. But look, there's 4 things that are going to determine if the country survives or not. I've been saying this for years. Whether or not we have sovereign borders in which we fully control our southern border, and I would even extend borders to just include immigration policy. A lot of people get blue in the face about why did so-and-so do this? Well, it's because 40, 50 years ago, we started letting them all in. Yeah. All right. So the Somalian problem in Minnesota is because we allowed immigration policy to bring over people that are not compatible with our way of life. All right. The second thing is that we have trade that works for Americans. That goes back to what you were just saying before you brought me on about tariffs. Yep. Okay, so we have to have a country that does not send our jobs to other countries. If you want to talk about global war, we wouldn't have even won World War II if we couldn't make our own planes, tanks, and bombs and bullets. Yep. All right. Then you have the third thing, which is to ensure anti-corruption. Right? Like we have to have strong anti-corruption, which would include my bread and butter, which is going after election corruption. That would also include going after these special interests and cleaning the house with that. So sovereign borders, control of trade, anti-corruption. The fourth thing is military sovereignty. All right, that's a big part of the Trump base, and that's something to his credit. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in Venezuela. There has been times where Trump has wielded the sword and people have had debates about that. But we have had no major ground conflicts under President Trump that entrenched us in an unending war. That has to be sustained, and that's something that I don't know that will be sustained once Trump is gone. But we are not the world's police, and that really erodes our own sovereignty here. And all throughout human history, you can look at great empires that have weakened from within. When they become the world's police. You can look at England. I mean, England gave up on the colonies because the population of England was so sick of having their own taxes increase while we were trying to pursue an endless war in the colonies. All right. Then you have the Romans, of course, were busy all over the what they knew as the modern world then. Yeah. And they got sacked by barbarians. So those four things, those are the things that we have to tackle and figure out. And they're really not that difficult to get our hands on.
Shouldn't be. All right. So we've got, we're coming up on the end of the show, so I'm going to grab my buddy Cameron here if we could. Seth, I got to have you back, brother. You got to come back soon. We got a lot of updates for people. We need to do a full show on elections and some of the data you got going on. By the way, support Seth's Substack. Seth has one of the best Substacks out there. I love Seth's Substack. Seth, where else can people tell people where all they can support you? I love your Substack, but where else?
So I went all in on Substack this year. I don't care for Twitter very much. I do have a Telegram account, but my Substack is captaink.us. That's a good place to get the straight truth, unfiltered information. I'm big on analysis, big on showing my work. And likewise, Tom's got a great Substack too, which you're probably familiar with. I think you've got a Christmas deal going on too, don't you?
We do. We have a Christmas deal on the Substack, which, by the way, take a peek at that. I think we just might have put that out today.
Yeah, Andrea fired off an email to your subscribers about it. So
okay, well, yeah, that's great. So that's wonderful. So yeah, please support our Substack and support our work and support Seth. I mean, listen, you got a veteran, you got a hero, you got a guy who's been fighting the fight for a long time. So make sure you're supporting Seth's Substack. So
yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna send Cam in for you.
I appreciate it, Seth. Okay, so big show. We got another one more. We got my brother Cameron coming in. Not by blood, brother by friendship, brother by spirit. Good guy. My friend Cameron Lowe he's a retired major league pitcher. He's been doing what he's done. I mean, obviously did the major leagues for a long time, and did a great job. And it's interesting. So he was a major league pitcher. His brother was an Olympic volleyball player, right? So Cameron and Cody Lowe, they're wonderful guys. It's two of my best friends. They both live in the Scottsdale area here. And Cameron blew out his back pitching, all sorts of problems. Cody had knee problems from what he was doing. And so, I meet Cameron and Cody. And Cam, come on in and sit down, brother. I meet Cameron and Cody, and we become real close friends. And they've got a healing clinic, right? Halo Wellness, and this is going to be a huge thing all over the country here coming forward. We're working on making this huge, but anyways, Cameron literally blew out his back. I mean, it was shot, and he found through using different techniques from energy healing and different things that aren't known by the public. They're out there, but like only pro athletes and just a handful of people know about some of these technologies and some of these things. He actually healed herniated discs, right? It was herniated discs. Herniated discs using just no surgery. He just used this technology, some of this energy healing, using micro nanocurrents, and it's very specific to Halo. Halo out of Scottsdale. Right now, they're just out of Scottsdale, but we're going to be expanding all over the country here in the next year or two. But using this energy healing and these microcurrents and some of these technologies that really no one else has. He was able to heal a herniated disc in his back, and his brother was able to heal his just ripped up meniscus in his knee, doing all these things. And I mean, these guys are pro athletes, and they've become two of my best friends. They've used some of their stuff on me, and it's been remarkable how good it is. And so, anyways, I just wanted to bring my brother Cam on here, talk a little bit about it. How you doing today, Cam?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, and I'm really happy to be on here with you. Tom, just can't say enough about the work that you do. Since meeting Tom, I told him the first time I met him, I didn't actually know anything about him, which is kind of crazy because I'm down the rabbit hole with a number of things. But once I heard the work that this man did, I was like, sir, you have my sword. You are just incredible. How can I help in any way? So it's an honor for me to be here with you, bro.
The honor's mine. Listen, so it's cool because, I get to make friends with these big shots, guys who did big things, do awesome things, and it's kind of cool that every now and then you find someone that actually know the truth and support the work that we do. But it's really important here with Cam. You got to understand something. When we look at the different mechanisms of healing, and we're going to do a full show on this coming up, guys, so we got to be kind of fast on this, but we look at some of the different, we see that, you guys all know. They suppress things that actually heal you and instead put out poisons like mRNA, right? There's all sorts of things that just poison the hell out of you, all these drugs. Big Pharma owns it. But there have been, over the years, just tons and tons of mechanisms for healing that have been suppressed. One of the areas that nobody's talking about and what Halo does, and this is new to me, right? I didn't look at, I started digging into this, and you'll see I'm going to be writing about this going forward. But is the use of energy as a healing tool. And when I looked at it, I just never thought about it. But, massage, acupuncture, a lot of the old, types, they were all about aligning energy and this, that, and other. And I always thought that was hokey sounding. But then I see Cam and Cody, who actually, literally professional athletes who healed severe injuries using energy healing. And using current modern day technology that's out there, but nobody knows exists because, it's suppressed. It's crazy to me. But Cam, you guys have had a clinic now for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And you guys have, you've healed tons of people, like major stuff. This is a huge deal, and it just works, right?
It works. And the reasons that it work are, these are, I call it cutting edge technology grounded in ancient wisdom, right? So the Chinese have obviously known for thousands of years that energy flows through the body, and where you have poor energy flow, you have breakdown, you have disease, so on and so forth. And we're just barely catching on over here in Western medicine because we've been so drugged and cut up and told us that, that we're a big fat sack of chemicals that needs more chemicals to regulate those chemicals. When you are an electrical being, you're an energetic being. You literally have electricity running across not just your nerves, but across every single cell membrane in your body. Your body talks to itself through electricity. That's what your nervous system is doing. And so we are just taking precision frequencies. We're asking your body before we deliver it with AI guided technologies. And so you're getting a very tailored technology, very tailored therapy. Your brain is going to get different frequencies than your broken toe and everything in between. Your stomach holds a different frequency than your liver does. And so these machines they read your body. They can tell if you've got heavy metals. They can tell if you've got infection, scar tissue, on. And then it delivers the precision frequency right to where it needs to get. And people just heal. God made us as beautiful healers. He gave us the ability to heal ourselves. We just have to give ourselves the right things. And we are, given precision stimulation so that your beautiful, amazing body can do the things that it's created to do.
Well, and I love what they're doing. There's some great stuff here. And, if you can see professional athletes healing themselves with this stuff, that's worth looking at, right? It really is.
Well, it meant millions of dollars to me. I was about to give up my baseball career at the age of 27 because they wanted to cut my back open. And I found this technology that was really in the elite circles. A lot of these people are like, how do these Hollywood people stay so young? Well, I guess some of it can be, you can speculate, but a lot of them have access to things that the average person does not, because
we're not talking about adrenochrome, by the way.
We don't do that at Halo. No, everything we do is energy based. It's safe, it's non-invasive, it's drug free. But these are technologies that have been available to the elite class level types people, and now we are we grew up poor. Cody and I grew up on this, in the middle of the San Fernando Valley, just outside of LA. We grew up very humble beginnings. But then we got to this level of competition where we started to get introduced to some of these elite level stuff. And now we're like, well, the whole world, at least all of America, as much as we can reach, deserves to have these types of therapies. And so that's why we've put it into a duplicatable model coming to a town near you.
I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to be a part of it. I mean, listen, it's good stuff, good people. So anyways, guys, pay attention. Take a look into energy as a healing therapy. Start looking at this. We're going to start talking about it because there's a lot more that can be done with that than what people realize. I was shocked. I thought it all sounded hokey until I did some homework. And then I found out that there's a lot of science, and just like everything else is suppressed. If pharma's not making money off of it, they don't want you to do it. It's kind of like, certain herbs and certain supplements, certain things that have a lot of impact. They just cover it up if it's not there. Same thing with this energy, but it's a different modality of healing, and shockingly effective. Shockingly so. Cam, we got to do a full show. By the way, I think we're going to talk about doing like a fundraising show down here, maybe a special. We got a bunch of things we're looking at doing. So we got a lot to talk about coming forward. But I mean, where if you're in the Arizona or Scottsdale area, get to Halo Wellness, right? Check out the website. What's the website?
It's www.halo, Haloe. Our last name is Lowe, Loe. So we went with Halo with an E, wellness.com.
Make sure you're checking out Halo if you're in Scottsdale. If you're not, you might even want to come. It really is just a phenomenal thing.
We'd love to show you. We're super passionate about this stuff. It changed our lives, and now we just enjoy sharing it with others and watching them change their lives.
It works. I've let them zap me. It's pretty crazy good. So, all right, guys, we're coming up then. Remember, TomRens.com, GiveSendGo.com/RensLaw. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're checking out Haloe, Halo, HALOE.com. And
HaloWellness.com.
I'm sorry, HaloWellness.com, HALOE. And, support these guys. We'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching The Tom Renz Show. Join us live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, putting an axe in the skull of tyranny.
The MAGA revolution in cryptocurrency is here, reclaiming financial freedom for every American. Tired of globalist banks and deep state control? Blockchain is our weapon for sovereignty. Be a step ahead with Animus AI technology. Ranked #1 worldwide, exclusively available through Block Trust IRA. But beware, the wild ride volatility and scams lurk. Yet, with Trump-era policies like the Genius Act, we're tokenizing prosperity for veterans and the heartland. Globalist elites are panicking as leftist-controlled banks scrabble in the dust as MAGA investors access revolutionary technology. Reclaim your freedom with Block Trust IRA.
Join the fight to protect your wealth. Go to TomRensCrypto.com and talk to Block Trust IRA now.
Listen live to The Tom Renz Show Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern.
You can't handle the truth. That's my job. I am Jim Price. Jim Price. Oh, hey, Jim Price. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Well, remember the government always tells us what day it is because they don't want us to forget. It's December 17th. It's a Wednesday, 2025. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Good to see everybody and all of those that are out there in the world living a life that they wonder why they're in the situation they're in. Sometimes we have to go around ourselves and we got to kind of look inside, right? And we got to say, well, you know, is some of this my issue or is this always everybody else? And if it's always everybody else, then maybe I need to figure that out. But anyway, the world we live in is going a little bit crazy. Wait, are we, hello? Anybody there? Hello? Oh, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's a thing we got going on. But let's go to the day's news. I will be talking about some things going on here in a second, but I do want to go to the day's news. Fani Willis was in front of the Georgia Senate. Come here, Senator. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Come on. Yeah, come here. Well, come here. Yes, good girl. Come here. Well, everybody can see you. Yes. What? See, the thing is, I don't let her jump. Yeah, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. I know you want to just jump. Okay. Anyway, she does like to jump. She's always been, none of my dogs jump on people. That's not the thing that I let them do. And anyway, so she doesn't want to jump up on my legs because she almost thinks it's a trick because I'm like, yeah, you can jump up here. But anyway, any other time she doesn't get that. Anyway, remember Fani Willis, the lady who referred to herself as the ire of every man that loves to say her name Fanny, because it makes him think of her butt. And this is the same woman who went into the courtroom with her dress on backwards. Right. And actually, her dress kind of fit better because of her lack of this part up here. Anyway. Hey, I'm not body shaming. You know, everybody likes what they like, right? You do you. But anyway, she went in front of the Senate committee in Georgia, and she really kind of lost her shit. And excuse my language there, but I don't really care. Fulton County, Fani Willis, on Wednesday testified before the Georgia Senate Special Committee on Investigations over her lawfare RICO case against President Trump. Fani Willis tried to block subpoenas requiring her to testify before a Georgia Senate committee. Now think about that. You are the attorney general, right? And yet you're a district attorney, I'm sorry. And yet you're trying to get the judges to now block your Senate who gives you the authority to be a district attorney. Okay, like this. Listen, I'm going to slow it down for a second. The same people who give her power, she's blocking them with judges so that she doesn't have to respond to them or talk to them or answer to them. Yeah, okay. All right, cool stuff. Now, it was previously revealed that Fani Willis had an illicit affair with Nathan Wade, the top prosecutor she hired to hunt down Trump. Fani Willis and Nathan Wade both testified that their romantic relationship began in 2022 after Willis hired Wade in 2021. They both lied to the court. According to the cell phone data, Wade visited the Yurdi condo where Willis was residing before he was hired in November of 2021. Oops. Well, you know, see how my bank account works is, yeah. So this is the thing. This is really bad on these guys. I can't believe it. Anyway, a previous court filing revealed Nathan Wade paid for luxury vacations he took with Fani to Napa Valley and a cruise to the Caribbean. Huh. Nice. You know, I've never been on a cruise. I've been on boats. I owned a boat. I have owned a couple boats. But I've never been on a cruise. I heard that they can be really great and they can be horribly terrifying. So I don't know which way that is. I don't know. That's just how it is. But anyway, so he was taking her on the Caribbean cruise. He never took me. I feel a little slighted there, Nathan. I thought we were better than that, buddy. I guess not. Court records show that Wade, who has played a prominent role in the election interference case, has been paid $654,000 in legal fees since 2022. The DA authorized his compensation. Nathan Wade spent money on Fannie, buying her flowers, paying for hotels, air travel, a cruise, and Ubers. Bank statements prove Nathan Wade bought Fannie Willis flights to Miami and San Francisco. On Wednesday, Fannie Willis crashed out and pulled the race card. Then, when confronted with documents showing how much she paid her lover, Nathan Wade. Yeah, this is good stuff, right? Good stuff. Yeah, it's so awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is anyway. So, I just love these people. They do not have pride. They do not have scruples. They don't have morality or dignity or whatever it is you want to call it. It's amazing to see these people in their full set here. Oh, what's going on? Why am I not on? Oh, crap. Okay, what's going on here? Am I not on my own page here? What's going on? Did we not get Facebook to load? Oh, wow. Gee, me knee. Why are we not? Oh, golly, I just hate this. I really do hate this internet. I hate this this idea of what we're up against here with Facebook and others. Okay, let me see if I can get this to go over. Lead stories. I'll push this over. Come on. Gotta love the internet. And I don't know why we're not getting the internet to do our bidding today, but I guess that's okay. We'll go there, and then we'll go to where can I go? Page. There we go. Switch. I guess. And what we're up against here with Facebook and others. Okay, let me see. Stop. Why did it do that? Oh, this is great. I just love this internet. Love it. You guys ought to get Facebook. It's a really cool app. It's a thing that really... Anyway. Let's see here. Share now. There we go. Boom. It's out. All right. I sent that out there, so hopefully we'll get this all squared away, and I don't know why this is being a pain in the butt, but here we are. Let's see here. Where's this? Edward, we're going live or not today? Yes, I am live. Facebook did not publish. Okay. I don't know what is going on there. I hate when it does that. I don't have anything offhand right there. But anyway, all right, so guys, here we go. So we're back to the regularly scheduled program, I guess. I do not know why the Jim Price Show will not load, sir. Yeah, I saw that. Sucks. Facebook sucks. Anyway. All right, this is what we do and why we say we don't have censorship anymore because Trump's in the White House, but I do not believe that for a second. Sad part of it is that I got it over on Lead Stories, which tells me that it's able to go out to Facebook, but then all of a sudden it didn't publish out for some reason. So let's see if I can go here to Restream and see if they're showing anything here. It says there was an error. An error occurred. I do not understand these people at all. Unable to connect. The Jim Price Show. Says who? Why were you unable to connect? A bunch of my stuff was unable to connect. I am over on X and others, and on Rumble as well. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. Howdy, Jim. I'm pushing this out. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, so going back to Fannie or Fawny or whatever we're supposed to call her because we're not supposed to think of her butt. Anyway, so she goes on a big tirade here. Let me go ahead and show you the video here. This is actually really embarrassing for her in a lot of ways because this is who she is, and she shows her true how hood she really is. And by the way, She's also the same woman who tried to show up to get her daughter out of a ticket and some other things. But here we go. Let's watch what she has to say here. Oh, come on. Don't do commercials.
do to our body.
Trail mix.
All right. Hold on. Yeah, guys. Stop. Sorry, guys. We got to do the commercials because I don't know why we got to do commercials here. These are really not good commercials. Rumble, do better. I don't know why you guys have crappy commercials. Here we go. All right.
Documents. So you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I
I'll give you time to
allowed
review the
Mr. Wade
documents.
to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that
Wait. He was billing 160 hours a week. Hold on a second, guys. Now listen to this guy, lady. He's billing 160 hours a week. Okay? For what? Oh, because he showed up early and he stayed late? And 8:30 was when their DAs had to show up to work as 8:30 in the morning, not 8 o'clock. But yet he was the one telling her employees that they had to show up early because they couldn't show up on time. Listen to what this lady says. She tells on herself the whole way, and she doesn't realize how bad it really sounds when she talks. But here we go. I'll flip it back over, and I'll let her do it with her own words. She's this is stupid. This is stupid.
first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him.
Yeah.
He taught them how to do this case.
Right.
And he was a leader to that team
Right.
and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You
Whoa.
want something to investigate as a legislature?
Ain't nobody
investigate how
threatening
many
you.
times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you
Oh, the
investigate
N-word.
that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you
Writing on my
investigate the
house.
fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense, and you can use all this in your campaign ad, you attacked Fonnie Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
I'm going to refer you to the
She
screen.
is so.
I know you said you don't approve.
I don't look
Re-
at this.
review
I've never
these.
Okay, so she's saying that she has never seen her own financial statements. You heard what she said in the very beginning, that she had just received those documents. The very documents that shows how she was spending the money in the DA's office, but also her personal money. Do you guys see this? Like how this is like, you talk about like the lack of accountability. Like the idea that, I'm above the fray. I'm a, what? Yeah, blah, blah. Like, what are we talking about here? Hey, Dave Glovin, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you showing up, showing off. Thank you so much. And Edward, thank you for pushing out all this stuff with Facebook. I have a series of channels that for some reason it just decided not to publish out today. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, so going back to the world that we live in here, where people like this are out there making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, putting thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in jail annually, every single year, year after year. This person is sitting here talking about, well, you could go make a campaign manual for this. Well, maybe if you weren't such a jackass, he wouldn't be able to use it. Do you ever think about that, lady? If you weren't the problem, there wouldn't be something to talk about. Huh? Like, what is this? Like, are we living in like, what? Yeah, and it goes on and on. She didn't stop just there. She went on and on. By the way, I don't know if you guys actually saw this interview with this lady, or this lady in California. She's an older lady working at Target. Now, I don't know if you've seen this lady. Let me go ahead and just put her face up here so you guys. This lady right here, I don't think you guys know who this lady is, and she doesn't know who she really is, and the idea that she was just working at Target. She's racking clothes, straightening out racks, putting clothes on racks, straightening things out, putting hangers back on, all that stuff, right? This is her job. And so this nurse decides to go up and confront her about her Freedom shirt with an American flag on the back. It doesn't say Charlie Kirk. It doesn't say down with the whatever. Okay, why are we losing all the channels here all of a sudden? Am I getting, ooh-wee, what's going on? I got frame drops coming up, huh? Anyway, so there's nothing on here that says, I'm anti-liberal, nothing about anti-this or that, anti-immigration. She just has a shirt that says Freedom. It's a red shirt. She's required to wear a red shirt to Target, and it says Freedom with an American flag on the back. Now, this lady, you can see her here. she's just a grandma. She's just doing her job, and she probably, honestly, shouldn't be working at her age. But hey, what do we call that? Social Security. Thanks, man. Anyway, so this lady gets confronted by a nurse, and it gets out of hand real fast. This lady starts confronting her, and now the problem is there's actually an investigation into this lady. So here's the video of it. I'm gonna go ahead and size this down a little bit here for you. Okay, that's right about there. There we go, and drop that way. There we go. So this is the video, and what's crazy is they don't really show her face at the beginning of this older lady, but the lady goes on and on. But let's go ahead and watch how this goes down.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why?
So,
Why are you taking my picture?
Oh, I guess it does
why are
say
you
Charlie
wearing
Kirk
that
on the
shirt?
back.
You're working. It's not
It's
a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get
over
your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work.
Wow.
Unacceptable.
Wow.
Unfucking acceptable.
it. That's your opinion.
No,
ma'am.
the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am. Have
And
a
you
nice
shouldn't.
day.
You should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
Wow, she actually handled herself way better than I would have. I guess it does say Charlie Kirk on there. I thought it was just a straight American flag with the woo-wee, boys and girls. So here, let's go on to this. And this is actually crazy. The Give, Send, Go fundraising launched by this reporter to send to Jenny on vacation or probably retire was at 94,000 just before noon on Wednesday. The incident that occurred in Target in Chico, California, has sparked a widespread outrage, calling for Ponce's firing and now an active police investigation. So the lady Ponce. Now, here's the problem. I actually have seen a lot of information on this lady, okay? And this lady that went up to her and talked about how Charlie Kirk is a racist. I'm going to give you just a few of the things I can count off the top of my head here that she has. And I'm talking about a laundry list of convictions. Convictions. She works at a hospital. This is a person who's supposed to give passionate care to people who are infirmed. This lady has breaking a restraining order, assault and battery on a cohabitant. She has assault, or what was it? Something about the courts. She did something to the courts. She has, she actually has assault. She has another, I don't know. It was a laundry list of physical violence. Physical violence. I'm not saying like she was over here telling this lady the F word over and over again, right? But no, this lady has like a laundry list of convictions. And she's working for the hospital. Now, here's the thing. One of the ladies that I saw was going after this when she goes, listen, I talked to her employer and I went ahead and transferred them through an email, her entire booking, like all of her arrests, but also all of her convictions. And this lady has, I think it's 15 convictions, but like 30 arrests. Like this lady has been arrested and convicted and arrested and convicted and arrested, but she's working as a nurse. This is unbelievable. Within 20 minutes of Gateway Pundit publishing the initial report about the incident, Ponce locked down all of her social media channels. Well, I think that's a little too late because a lot of other people have already gone after her, right? They went in and looked at her receipts, right? And so, I know it's your Showtime. The website again. Okay, all right. According to her daughter, Jenny has not had the easiest life. Monday was the 12th anniversary of her husband's death by suicide. Golly, this Ponce chick needs to get just smacked in the face. What a tool. Her husband died. Now, granted, she didn't know that, but hey, everybody's dealing with shit, right? Everybody's doing their thing, right? right? We all got to think about the other person, okay? Golly, on her husband's suicide death. Gee, after a long battle with illness and ongoing dementia, she now passionately works to raise awareness for suicide prevention options. God, I want to almost start crying about it. Anyway, then she goes, Ponce, a nurse employed by Eloy Health in Chico, a nonprofit healthcare system, has a history of controversial social media posts, including a non-private TikTok video in which she claimed people in her own town where she has a hit list. Holy shit. Okay. All right. In a significant update, the Chico Police Department announced on Facebook that they are actively investigating the viral video. Ponce was featured in the news because she fought for Mexican flags to be displayed on American soil in her area. Are you guys picking up the pattern yet? Okay, and by the way, her boyfriend, husband, baby daddy, whatever the label we're going to use for the guy who sleeps next to her or whatever, yeah, that's, we're not going to go into that guy. Oh my God, that's even worse. So this is crazy. Their statement reads, the Chico Police Department is aware of a video circulating online depicting a verbal confrontation inside a local business. We were actively investigating the incident with our local partners. I mean, again, this is one of those things like, golly, guys, this is the world we live in, and this is okay for this lady to go out of her way to treat this person like this. Residents have reported that this isn't the first time Ponce has been accused of causing trouble, with complaints about her previous bullying behavior and social media antics being directed to Eloy Health. There also appears to be a record of domestic violence calls to her home. Yeah. She's living with her spouse, Jose Ponce, who is apparently 12 years older than her. That's all right. Who cares? Lives in a pretty big house in Orland, California. So I'm guessing she went the gold digger route. Okay. This is part of the article. Imagine her husband, Jose Ponce, has also surfaced, images of her husband, Jose Ponce, has also surfaced, including one in which he is posed next to a car with a Charlie Kirk sticker while holding his finger to his throat. Okay, so if you guys are wanting to see what I'm talking about, here we are. Here's her with her middle finger up for the Trump sticker, and then here's her boy, her man, giving the neck finger to the Charlie Kirk sticker, by the way. So anyway, this is how we do this. This is what we do, right? The Chico Police Department is investigating, and this is Eloy Health, okay? ENLOE Health. The Chico Police Department is investigating a social media post on the personal account of an Eloy Health employee. We are deeply concerned about the tenor of this post and the response it is creating with individuals of all political persuasions. We are asking for patience and calm as we conduct our internal investigation on this matter. Bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just telling you, I'm just tired of it. The Chico Police Department is investigating the social media post on the personal account of Eloy Health employees. It's coming out, guys. If you wish to share a comment with Eloy Health related to this employee's social media post, please email us at share@eloy.org. share@enloe.org. You can go ahead, and if you have any comments related to the employee's social media posts, they want you to send it. Or call 530-332-9818 and leave a message. Oh my God, I just can't help myself. Hey, Ken Reason, good to see you, man. What's up? Hey, Courtney Allen. All right, real quick, guys, let's do a little bit of housekeeping here. I will be going to Phoenix tomorrow morning. I will be on a hot jet out of Wichita, heading to Phoenix on the nonstop Southwest Airlines. I will be landing at 1:20 in Phoenix. The event starts at noon tomorrow. and it looks like it will be going through Sunday. I will be heading back Sunday morning to be back to Wichita midday. Sunday, my son is coming into town, and so I'll be back here on Sunday. But guys, I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow and Friday I will not be going live. If I happen to do live or happen to do something like that, it will be a short little thing, maybe while I'm walking around, what have you. But anyway, I am heading to the TPUSA AmpFest for tomorrow. There were some donations that rolled in, and I was able to make that trip. My back, we're going to hope for the best, guys. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to be taking any of my mushroom products, just for the pure fact of I really cannot anticipate that I will be able to do much of that while I'm there. There are some other meetings and things I will be attending while I'm out there as well, so I hope to see everybody there that is going to be in Phoenix. Those of you that were not, that are out there that, might be there, let me know, and I will see what I could do for you. Courtney Allen says, safe travels, and Diana Arcott says, hi, everybody. So, yeah. But if you guys are in Phoenix, or if you guys are going to the AmpFest, please reach out to me. Get a hold of me, and at least share a hug, a handshake, a how do you do, or grab a coffee, whatever you want to do. But guys, let me know. And Edward, if you think that you might want to come up for at least one day, let me know, and I will make sure that you get in. And if you want to make that 3-hour drive up to Phoenix, I know that your funds are very limited, and I understand that. The only reason I'm going to Phoenix is because of a donation that was given to me for that. So, guys, understand that we're all living in those constraints. But those who have, that can do whatever. But anyway, Edward, if you can make it up, buddy, I know you're on your Social Security, and I know that it's tough sometimes for you. So, partner, if you want to head up, come on up. If you don't, I'm not offended at all, brother. Do not stress yourself about seeing me in Phoenix, okay? If you don't want to go to AmpFest and you want to come out and say hi or whatever and we go grab lunch, I can do that too, buddy. But you guys just know that, all right? So I am here for you. You mean I don't have to come to class until you get back? Well, maybe I'll have Edward do the show, and he'll have to figure it out. He'll have to do all this fun stuff over here. It's all right. I don't think Ed wants to be the guy behind the camera. I think he's does really great behind the social part of it over here on the comments. I do appreciate what Ed does. I don't think you guys get it. I know that this is the reason for the season, is the giving and the sharing and all those things, but you guys, Ken and Diane and Dave and all you guys out there, Courtney Allen, I mean, all the ones I can't even, Stephanie Morrow, Jeanette, Janet, everybody out there, guys, the guys, you regulars who come along, you understand that that's why I do this show, is when you guys show up. When you guys show up and you give me your guys' thoughts, and you guys are a part of things, and you're doing stuff, that tells me the popcorn's popping. That tells me things are happening. That tells me I'm doing something that's worth it. And it's very important to have you guys. I can do this. I don't have, but I enjoy the interaction. That's why I bring up the comments. That's why I have the interaction with you guys, because it's very, very necessary. I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to be a part of what the world is and how we change things. I want to see you guys be a part of what I'm doing. And I don't know if that's how other social media guys do it. I know I don't watch a lot of other people really at all, because I don't tie myself into those shows, but I hope that what I'm giving you guys is inspiration. I hope that you guys understand this is a family. This is a community. This is us together. And we're doing this because it's necessary. Because evil does exist, and sometimes we forget that. And that's what I forgot. I forgot how evil things are. I cannot forget that anymore. My life that I have is incomplete, and it has been changed, but I'm a better man for it. And I appreciate the fact that I went through all those things, but was it a toll on my heart and on my soul? Oh yeah, guys, absolutely. But you guys are worth it. I say a lot of things on here that I know in other countries, and even parts of our country, even in parts of the United States of America, if I was jurisdictionally in some people's control, I would be arrested. That's how it goes, guys. Even in our own country. I was a Republican running for state senate, $12,000 a year job. And they came into my house with a battering ram and a laser dot to my forehead. If you move, I'll blow your effing brains out. I was such a threat to them that was the first words out of the police officer's mouth when they came into my house. So when you guys get on here and you guys are talking it up and chatting it up, and I see you guys are friends on social media and I see you guys posting with each other, that whole thing gets further and further away from me. The fear, the trepidation that I went through, all the different sleepless nights, the crying. Today is worth it every time. Tomorrow will be worth it. The next day will be worth it because we are better together. And I'm a better man for what I have had to go through. And so I appreciate everybody out there. And guys, you are it. You are the reason. You are the movement. This is what happens when you guys get together. This is how the American Revolution, or we call it the War of Independence. The War of Independence was created by people like you and I that got together and drank some coffee and got a little pissed off and got a little tired of it and got tired of some big fat man telling me how it's okay that I just give over to him and I give quarter to soldiers and I give quarter to the military and I give quarter to officers of the court. Guys, you don't remember what it was like here in America and what it was really like under a king when the king could walk into your house and any person representing the king could walk into your house and take anything, including your daughter, your wife, your son, your pigs, your horses, your cows. It didn't matter. That's what we all are afraid of, and that's what we are actually doing with our own money right now. Our own money is being used that way against us. And when you guys get pissed off enough, you get tired enough, then we stand up and we say no more, they will go away. I promise you that. But you don't believe me because I don't see the action like I should. You guys are better than that. I've seen a lot of great things out of you guys. I've seen a lot of great things out of this show. I've seen a lot of great people come out of the show. I've seen actually people spin off of this show to go do their own things. And I think it's wonderful. Because I'm not the answer to everything. I'm not the answer. There's things that I don't know and I don't understand. But you know what I do? When I find out something I don't know, you know what I do? I drill down on that thing. I drill down on it. I find out about the Corporation of America. I find out about 1871. I find out about General Grant. I find out about the Rothschilds. I find out about the Fed Reserve. I find out about the gold standard and the silver standard and the fact that we went to the petroleum dollar in the early 70s, and that's why we had the oil embargo and the problems there because we were not actually able to ratify or fix our money to any one post, and so there was an agreement that went out that America would now be the only petrodollar on earth, and that's what stabilized our currency in 73. 71 to 73 were a hard time for us because our dollar wasn't tied to anything because we took it off of a metal or a standardized system. We went to a fiat currency, which allowed us to print as much money as we wanted, but all money, all oil on earth is traded in American money, American currency. That's how we've been able to stay relevant all these years because of the agreements of the petrodollar, i.e. the late 60s, early 70s, when we negotiated to go into the petrodollar. And you wonder why we give bombs and jets and F-16s and big planes to Saudi Arabia and the EAU and Qatar and all that stuff? Well, it's because of the treaty we created of the fiat currency. A lot of these things have bound our hands for decades, and we've not realized how bad it really is. The fiat currency we live under is absolutely a slave system. And only those who can figure out how to get out of the slave system are the ones that benefit. Well, that's the rich people. You can be rich too if you can figure out how to get out of there and take advantage of the fiat currency system. But that means you usually have to kind of be a dirtbag. You got to be willing to step on some heads. It happens. So why we come together, Jim? Oh, well, hey, Dave, thank you for that, buddy. I appreciate that. There's days I really do wonder. I do wonder. There are days when I wonder how I can do this, and I wonder how I can do this, but I tell you what it really is the fear. If I don't do this, who will? If I don't say these things, if I don't go hard, if I don't say things about the Bible, if I don't say things about, Judaism, if I don't say things about our currency, if I don't say things about the moon, if I don't say things about NASA, if I don't say things about, who's going to? And I know there's people out there now. But when I started in 2018, 2019, there really wasn't a lot of people out there pushing real hard. Yeah, we had Hannity, and I think he's sold out. We had a few others out there. We had Rush Limbaugh, and Rush was trying his best. But I do understand that this whole thing of internet and all these things have actually allowed us to come together and do things that we never could do before, and that's what they lost control of. Just like Facebook, for whatever reason, accidentally not streaming my show today. Thanks, Facebook. This is the problem. Where we accidentally don't get streamed out on this or that channel. Again, my point is that, guys, we have a problem, and I don't know where I'm going to go with that. I'm a back up on that. We do have a problem, and it's called compassion. It's called sympathy. It's called being a decent human being. That you're willing to give to people that you don't even know, and you understand that there may be something in their life going on that you don't see or understand. And you'll give in, and you'll let people say this, or you'll let people say that, or you'll let this happen, or you'll let that go, and you're like, hey, yeah, don't worry about it. It ain't affecting me. I ain't worried. And we keep like, it ain't a big deal. It ain't a big deal. Ain't a big deal. And all this next thing you know, they're taking over your life. And because we haven't stood our ground and said no, and guys, that's the answer. No, listen. The answer to it all is no. 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 N-O says no. That's really the answer to it all. When we start saying no, when we stop being politically correct, when we stop being woke, and I'm talking to every one of you guys out there, I'm talking to myself, because there's times I will look around and I will, I'll be like, well, yeah, and I'll kind of let things go. And I forget, like, God dang it, I shouldn't give in on that. That's stupid. Just like the idea of using the word retarded. My daughter, has a mental condition. She has limitations. She's a deaf person. But I'm not calling her hearing impaired because that's stupid. That's a lot of extra work not to call them deaf. The word is deaf. D-E-A-F. Not hearing impaired. That's a lot of extra for a 4-letter word to go to hearing impaired. Deaf is deaf. There are different ranges of deafness, just like there's different levels of insulin resistance called diabetes 1, 2, and 3. But we can't have that conversation. Why? Because it's not politically correct. I'm not handicapped. I'm what was it? Handy-abled or capable? Handy-capable? But I will give you this. My son was talking to me today, and he called me, and he's called me on his lunch he's taking that class out there in California, and he's doing that whole thing out there. He's doing bunch of different stuff, welding and some other things, this and that. And he called me today, and he goes, Dad, hey, like, listen, hey, and he called me. We're talking, and he hung up. He goes, oh, and then he calls me right back. He goes, I forgot to tell you something. I was like, yeah, what's up? He's, hey, there's a whole thing going on where people are starting to use words that we've been told that are exclusively black words that nobody else is allowed to say. And I'm like, really? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, it's being used everywhere. And we're talking about Hispanics, We're talking about whites. We're talking about Asians. We're talking about old. We're talking about young. He's like, I don't know what's going on in California, but we're using the words out here that... Oh, Dave Glovin, I love it. Listen, this is Dave Glovin. Okay, Dave's old school. Listen, guys, listen, this is what we used to be able to do. Dave says, retarded gives me the impression I was tarded again. Was I once tarded? Yeah, like being retarded. Like, yeah. But remember in your distributor on the motor, you know, where all the wires went in, the distributor, you would retard or advance your timing, depending on if it was cold out or if it was winter time. Remember, guys, we used to always have to get under there and use the old 1/2 inch and get in there and loosen up and just, yeah, my old trucks, I used to love to do that. I get it in the morning. You know, it's a little colder than usual. She's a little hard starting. I got to get in there and advance the timing just a little bit to get her to rev right up. But you would retard the ignition or the timing. You would advance the timing or retard the timing. So to be a little slow is okay. Some days I'm pretty retarded. Some days I'm like, what? You need to slow that down. I have no idea what big word you just used. Like, I'm there, guys. We all have it. You know, there's times I'm not on a point. I'm not there. So this is where we can talk about things, right? We can start using those words because Obama is a fart in the wind and we're tired of living politically correct. There's nothing correct about political anything. When has politics been correct, and why do we use the word political correctness to be able to then tell people they couldn't use English words the way you wanted to? Oh, mind control and speech control. Mind control and speech control. You can't say the word COVID. You can't say the word vaccine. Remember all that? I had to use the government chemical they put in your arms. Remember, I had to use all those words because vaccine is a bad word. Mind control and speech control. But wait, where do we learn that first? We learn it in church first, at Sunday school. And then we go to school, and then we learn at school that there are words and phrases we can and cannot use. And then we go to our TV, and then there's words and languages we can't use on the TV. You guys ever thought that maybe they've been trying to control your mind and your speech for a long, long time, and you just kind of gave into it? Yeah. Guys, as soon as we're all done with this, we're good. As soon as you're all done with this, we're good. This is the world we live in, and we got to be better than this. There's a lot of things out there that are driving me crazy, and I know it drives you crazy as well. But anyway. All right, let's get on to something else here. Let's see if there's anything else old Gateway's got for me to throw at you. By the way, I do appreciate the fact that there is a give, send, go for that young lady who lost her husband to suicide. And I will tell you, thank God someone's doing that for her. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, by the way, remember I told you Dan Bongino was going to quit? Well, he announced today, Dan Bongino is resigning in January. And we're going to hear where he was like, I tried so hard, and it was so hard, and I was doing everything I could, so don't blame me. Meh. I don't think he was the guy for the job to begin with. I think he thought he had it, and I think Kash Patel thought he had it too. But I think you need someone bigger than these two. I think you need someone badasser than those two. I think you need somebody who literally doesn't give two shits about anything. And that's how you fix the FBI. You don't go in there and, every FBI agent is out there diligently working as hard as they can, and why support them all, Kash Patel? Don't ever invite lead stories to the show, Jim. You not ever allow me here again. Hey, we're doing our best, buddy. We're doing our best. Dave Glovin's out there giving me crap. I love it. President Trump appears to confirm Bongino is leaving the FBI. And President Trump was out greeting the caskets of our fallen soldiers with Pete Hegseth and a general's welcome for these fallen soldiers who came back to America and will be laid to rest in the coming week. There were several gentlemen in their 20s who were they lost their lives overseas, and they are now back. But Trump did go out and meet the plane on the ground, and so that was something that I really do think is pretty cool how he does that. White House installs plaque under presidential portraits on White House Walk of Fame. Roast Biden and Obama, by far the worst president in American history and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. Ooh, shit. Okay, before we have to go, we're going to have a few minutes here talking about Candace Owens and Erica Kirk. Okay? Now, I know I'm not all in on this theory completely, but I will give you this. Candace Owens came out yesterday, and I do believe what she said is very accurate, that she went into a meeting and she expected things to be laid out explicitly for her. But the problem is that even though she had been asking these questions for 3 damn months, 3 months, that's 30 days, that's 60 days, that's 90 days. Okay, well, let's take about a month off there for bereavement. Okay. Let's say that it's only been 60 days of her asking questions. They didn't have answers to it. The pastor that got up during Charlie Kirk's celebration, he has no affiliation with a Turning Point. He doesn't get a paycheck. He doesn't make decisions, but he was saying how he was fully involved in Turning Point. He was the reason Turning Point had the whatever. He was really building up his own tent. Put a lot of hot air in there, right? So the problem is that now that comes out, but then the right-hand man of Charlie Kirk is another full-faced liar. Yes, his text messages and phone call timestamps were released to Candace, showing that this man is lying about everything he was doing for Turning Point and who he was for Turning Point. Again, those are the two that we kind of got answers to, but everything else, why does Erica Kirk have Charlie Kirk's phone on her? That should have been seized. That should have been taken into evidence. Why is it that we're just blindly going into this kid who now we find out groyper, fanboy, all this other stuff? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But then they got a lawyer on the line with her and said, oh, well, we only have what you have. We don't have any additional information. We only have the affidavit for arraignment. We don't know anything. That's usually not true. I had a truck broke into back in 2002 when I was in Phoenix living out there, and I caught the guy mid, breaking in and pressed charges against him. And they asked me the whole time, like, here's what we have with him. Here's what we're doing. Here's where we're at. This is what we're going to do. This is what's going to be the next stage. And this was over breaking into my truck. That's it. This isn't a murder case that the world knows about. The shot heard around the world. I'm still standing behind that, guys. Courtney Allen says, did you hear Bongino stepping down? Yeah, Courtney, I just said that. Or did you say that before I said that? Sorry about that, Courtney. If you said it before I said it, I apologize. So anyway, Candace Owens was going on and on about these things. But I will give you this. There's a lot of people in life that get up on cameras, and we really do think that they're elevated. We think they're better than what they are. And I do believe that Erica Kirk is way in over her head. She's not a CEO. She's not an influencer. She's a beauty pageant specialist who knows how to smile and look at the camera and tilt her head the right way and do all this and all that. But I will go with this, guys. I'm going to go with there may be a little bit of dirt. Just saying. Oh, what's Brian just got here. Sorry I missed you. I'll have to rewind. Well, Brian, man. Hey, make sure to check in with us when you check in over there at Rumble. Make sure and say hi and all that good stuff. It just keeps the popcorn popping, makes us look like we know what we're doing, so I appreciate that, buddy. But anyway, my point is that I think that a lot of the things that we're going through and the cover-up of things is exactly what we all know it to be. We all cried. I got mad. They killed my friend. I got mad. I just cried it out, yelled it out, the whole thing that day. Remember? I mean, if you guys don't, go back and watch it. But I will tell you that what did we do the next day? We started asking questions like, hey, what is this? Why does that? What is this? And then the security specialist went on Sean Ryan's show and the SRS show and went out there and said, oh, we couldn't have drones, and then we didn't have any control, and we didn't know anything, and we're just doing our best, and we don't know. No one at Turning Point knew he was doing the interview. No one at Turning Point had authorized him to do the interview. No one knew what he was going to say, and they completely do not back anything he says. So those are the things that are coming out of this interview with Erica and Candace behind doors. Candace has come out in a couple of different statements, a couple of different things, and she's making this as clear as she can, but there's a lot of things to talk about. So my point of this is, guys, is that we're still being told that everything's fine. Go back to your life. There's nothing to see here. 9/11 was terrorists. Oh, Pearl Harbor was the Japanese. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's exhausting. I know. I get there too. All right, Brian, appreciate that, man. Good seeing you over there. Also, Edwards Casting Central. Oh, yeah, Central Casting, not Casting Central. And, hey, guys, the world we live in, this is the world we live in. Either you get in there and you take responsibility and push back on these people and say, no, I'm not going to listen to your stupid little narrative. I want the goddamn truth. Or just quit griping about it. Either quit griping or get involved. That's your two options. And you quit griping, just go back and get your Soylent Green and put your jumpsuit on and do what the government tells you. And that's it. So it's a world we live in, guys. There's a lot of things going on out there. Don't be afraid to stand up. The world is ours, and we can do as we wish if we want to. All right, guys. It's been good seeing you guys, everybody out there. It's been awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. I will see you guys on Monday, and we'll go back and we'll do Monday, Tuesday. I will not be doing a show on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. I would hope that you guys are spending time with each other. And if there is a reason you guys want a Christmas Eve show, if there is a reason you want a Christmas Eve show, if you want me to do Christmas Eve, I will do Christmas Eve with you guys. If you guys want me to sit down and do a 4 o'clock show Central on Christmas Eve on Wednesday, I will do it for you. You just have to ask. But that's how we do it here, guys. I will do if you guys want to do it. Okay? The world's a great place out there. Make it yours and do what you got to do to make it the best. And say no more often to those in authority who keep telling you stupid shit. Say, no, you're lying. It's easier. It really is. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for those guys, the less they have to do for you. So let's learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. 8 billion people get up tomorrow and do something 10% nicer. This world would be amazing if just everybody decided to do just 10% more to be nicer to each other. That's it. That's it. All right, remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer. I remember that Constitution that limits that government. Never limits you. It's perfect. We won the election last November. Last November. You guys going to get on the playing field? You know, put your helmets on, strap it up. Let's go out and make some contact, right? All right, guys, it's good seeing everybody out there. Edward was out there. Brian, David Glove, and Courtney Allen. Let's see who. We had Ken Reesing. We had Diana Arcott. We had all the good ones out there. And sorry about the Facebook not deciding to do their little publishing thing because, you know, they're cool like that. Thanks. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks, government. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.